In this video, we'll be discussing if retirement plans are worth it or not. These savings plans are essentially the gold standard for retirement, but are they really worth it? And do they come with some hidden risks that ultimately make them more trouble than they're worth? And are there ultimately better ways for you to put your retirement money to use to make your retirement as enjoyable as possible? Across the world, retirement plans take different forms. In America, there's 401ks. In Australia and New Zealand, there's superannuation schemes. But regardless of the country that you're in, the principle remains the same. You contribute a percentage of your weekly income into this retirement scheme. You can only use the money once you reach the legal age of retirement. These retirement schemes often come with different perks that make them more appealing for people and entice them into joining. For example, an employer will match a certain percentage of the amount that someone contributes, and this can be set at a certain limit. For example, in New Zealand, an employer will match a person's contribution up to 3%. If you make an annual salary of $100,000 a year and you put in 3%, so $3,000, then your employer will match that $3,000 that you put in, contributing a total of $6,000. And in America, the amount that you put in can be tax deductible. So if you earn $100,000 a year and then there's a total contribution of $6,000, you will only have to pay tax on $94,000 of the $100,000 that you contributed. These types of things can make it far more appealing for people to join up to these schemes, but you have to keep in mind that there's some downfalls that come with these retirement plans that can ultimately make them a lot of hassle. Often these downfalls aren't shown to people and it's not common knowledge that they even exist. The main problem I feel that comes from being a part of these schemes is that people become too comfortable with the idea of leaving their retirement plan in someone else's hands. And the only thing that they need to do to prepare financially for their future is set up one of these schemes, contribute the money each week, and then be done with it. And not think of other avenues that they can use to improve their finances other than just contributing to one of these retirement plans. If you're really someone who doesn't want to spend any time looking at something like investing, then I completely understand if you're happy with the contributions you make to the scheme and that you don't want to spend any more time looking into your finances. But for a lot of people, investing can be very straightforward and something that doesn't require a lot of time at all. It's not commonly accepted. There's potentially a lot of stigma around investing and the connotations that people have with it without really understanding what it is or what it can do for them. But a retirement plan or a 401k or KiwiSaver in New Zealand is completely accepted. Everyone's a part of it. No one really bats an eye at the fact that it potentially can be shooting yourself in the foot, hindering you from really achieving the goal that you want, which is ultimately to make your money work for you and have the best possible future for yourself later in life. Just to illustrate what I mean, in New Zealand, you can get 3% of your retirement plan matched to the amount that you contribute, but after that, your employer has no obligation to match the amount that you put in. Some jobs vary and will actually match an amount higher than 3%, but for the majority of people, 3% is the max. If you want to do it really the best way, I think, is putting 3% in, getting it all matched from your employer, so essentially getting 100% return on the 3% that you put in. After that, investing the rest of the money. So some people might have the retirement plan all the way up to 10%. You could just drop that down to 3%, get your employer to completely match that amount that you put in as well, and then take that other 7% and invest it safely in something like a broad stock market index, like the S&P 500. This is considered to be one of the safest and most consistent investments. The S&P 500 is just the 500 companies in the US stock market, and it's a large proportion of the world's economy. It's a very stable, secure, tested investment that has been around for a substantial period of time and has a very predictable return. And this return is roughly 10%, and that is a lot higher than what you can get with a KiwiSaver scheme. If you invested 10% of your income every year and were on a $100,000 salary, you would put $3,000 into your superannuation scheme and then the other 7% into the S&P 500. So you'd make a $7,000 investment into this index, and then the average return is roughly 10%. 10% of $7,000, $700 return. In 1 year, this may not seem like much, but as you can see, if you look at this amount over a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year period, it really does make a difference, and it can be quite a substantial gain. And it's not something that requires hours of research or lots of time on your computer investigating the business. It's really something you can do quite passively without a lot of time, thought, or effort. That wraps it up for the video. I hope you found the content useful and you can start making some changes to your retirement plan to make it as effective as possible. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.